You will hear a telephone conversation between a customer and an agent at a company which ships large boxes overseas. Carefully and answer questions 1 to 8.
Good morning, Packham Shipping Agency. How can I help you?
Hi there, I'd like to get a quote for sending a box abroad.
Of course. Can I take the destination country, please?
Sure, it's Kenya.
Thank you. And may I have your name?
Yes, it's Jacob Willis. That's Willis.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. What's the address we should collect it from?
It's 29 Green Street.
And which town is that?
It's in Bradfield.
Could I have the postcode, please?
Yes, it's BH165DA.
Perfect. And the size of the box?
The length is 1.5 meters, the width is 75 centimeters, and the height is 0.5 meters.
What are the contents?
Mostly clothes, some toys, and a bit of kitchenware.
And the total estimated value?
Around 300 pounds.
Thank you. We have all the details now.
Take 30 seconds, cross-check your answer.
Before I let you go, would you like the standard shipping or express delivery?
How long does each take?
Standard usually takes about 2 weeks, while express is 5 to 7 days.
I'll go with express, please.
Noted. And would you like to include insurance for the parcel?
Yes, I'd prefer that. Better to be safe.
Absolutely. I'll add that for you. Thank you for your time.
We have come to the end of Section 1.
Now turn to Section 2. You will hear a tour guide giving a presentation about the restoration project of the historic Riverside Clock Tower. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this special presentation on the ongoing restoration of our beloved Riverside Clock Tower. This iconic landmark has stood proudly for centuries, and we're thrilled to share its story and our efforts to preserve it. The tower was first erected in the year 1685, making it one of the oldest standing structures in the city. Its original purpose was quite simple yet vital: to regulate the local market, ensuring traders and citizens kept accurate time for their daily transactions and travel. It quickly became the heart of civic life. Now, why the restoration? The primary catalyst for this extensive work was the severe storm that hit our region 2 years ago. The high winds caused significant structural damage to the belfry and the clock mechanism itself. It was a close call, but thankfully, we managed to secure the site. The project has been immensely costly, but we've been fortunate to receive substantial support. A significant portion of our funding, over 70%, came from a National Heritage Grant, recognizing the tower's historical importance. Local businesses and individual donations have also contributed. One of the major new additions to the tower, implemented as part of this restoration, is a brand new spiral staircase. This was crucial to allow safer and easier visitor access to the upper levels for guided tours, which we hope to commence next year. Previously, access was quite restricted. Now you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Let me outline the phases of the restoration project, as it's been a truly monumental undertaking. Phase 1 involved the initial assessment of the damage. This stage was critical, as it revealed that the storm's impact was far more extensive than we had initially anticipated, requiring a much larger budget and time frame. Phase 2 then focused on repairing the tower's main stone structure. The biggest challenge here was sourcing authentic materials that matched the original 17th century masonry, which proved to be quite difficult. Following that, Phase 3 commenced, which was the intricate restoration of the clock mechanism. This required the expertise of highly specialized horologists, clockmakers, who possessed specific historical knowledge to bring the complex internal workings back to life. It was a painstaking process. Phase 4 saw the installation of the new visitor facilities, including the staircase I mentioned earlier, and a small information center at the base. The primary concern during this phase was ensuring all modern safety standards were met for public access. And finally, we are now entering Phase 5, the final touches and surrounding landscaping. This includes creating accessible public areas around the tower and enhancing the overall aesthetic appeal of the site. We anticipate the tower will be fully open to the public in approximately 6 months. Thank you. That is the end of Section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turn to Section 3. You will hear two university students, Leo and Sophia, discussing their presentation on the ethical implications of artificial intelligence, AI, in education, with their tutor, Dr. Chen. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Good morning, Leo. Sophia. Let's discuss your progress on the AI in Education ethics presentation. What have been your main discoveries so far?
Good morning, Dr. Chan. I think what surprised me most was actually the sheer wide range of existing AI applications already being used in education. I knew it was growing, but the diversity was unexpected, from personalized tutoring systems to administrative tools. The pace of development is fast, but the breadth really stood out.
Yes, it's pervasive. For me, a key ethical concern, especially with AI in student assessment, is the risk of biased outcomes. If the AI is trained on unrepresentative data, it can perpetuate or even amplify existing inequalities, leading to unfair grading for certain student groups. It's not just about transparency, it's about the tangible impact.
That's a critical point, Sophia. However, on the flip side, some argue that AI also offers significant benefits, particularly in personalized learning. What's the main positive aspect you identified there?
Well, its ability to adapt content to individual student needs is huge. It can identify where a student is struggling and provide tailored exercises or explanations far more efficiently than a human teacher could for a large class. It's not about replacing teachers, but complementing them.
Precisely. Now, thinking about the core ethical dilemmas you want to present, which one do you both feel is most central?
I think the central dilemma we need to address is the trade-off between privacy and innovation. To personalize learning, AI often needs access to vast amounts of student data, their progress, their preferences, even their emotional responses. But this raises serious privacy concerns. Balancing the benefits of tailored learning against the risks of data misuse, it's more fundamental than the cost or impact on teaching methods.
Agreed. That's a cornerstone issue. Leo, you also mentioned the digital divide earlier. How does AI potentially interact with that?
Right. Some experts argue that AI, by requiring advanced infrastructure and access to digital resources, could actually exacerbate existing inequalities. Students from disadvantaged backgrounds who already lack reliable internet or devices could fall even further behind if AI-driven learning becomes the norm. It's not just about requiring expensive equipment or limiting rural access, but widening the gap for those already struggling.
Very important consideration. Finally, for your conclusion, what message do you want to leave your audience with? I think we should emphasize the need for ongoing ethical debate. AI in education is evolving so rapidly that we can't just set rules once and forget them. Society needs to continually discuss and refine its ethical guidelines as the technology progresses. Exactly. It's a journey. Excellent work, both of you. Excellent points. Now, let's think about the practical side of this. What practical challenges have you identified in terms of actually adopting AI in school environments?
One big one is simply the infrastructure. Many schools, especially in less affluent areas, just don't have the reliable internet or the computing power to properly run advanced AI systems. It's a significant practical hurdle.
And beyond that, there's a lot of concern from parents. Their specific worry often revolves around data security. They want to know exactly how their children's information is being used and protected by these AI tools.
Very valid points. What about the role of teachers in this evolving landscape?
We believe teachers will transition more into being facilitators or mentors, guiding students through AI-driven content rather than being the sole source of information. Their role becomes more about critical thinking and application.
I agree. And finally, what about ensuring these tools continue to serve their intended purpose responsibly?
We think there needs to be continuous assessment of AI tools. It's not a one-time deployment. There needs to be ongoing evaluation to ensure they remain ethical and effective, adapting as the technology and educational needs change.
That's a crucial point for sustainable and responsible integration.
Now turn to Section 4. Section 4. You will hear a lecture on the societal and cultural impacts of global pandemics throughout history. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 35. Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to explore a compelling and often somber aspect of human history, the profound societal and cultural impacts of global pandemics. While we often think of pandemics primarily as medical events, widespread disease outbreaks, their repercussions extend far beyond public health, fundamentally reshaping societies, economies, and even belief systems. Let's begin with arguably the most famous and devastating pandemic in human history, the Black Death of the 14th century. Caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, this plague swept across Asia, Europe, and North Africa, leading to unprecedented levels of mortality. It resulted in a massive population decline, wiping out an estimated 30 to 50% of Europe's population. The immediate effect was devastating, but the long-term societal changes were equally profound. With such a drastic reduction in the workforce, labor became incredibly scarce and valuable. This significantly shifted power dynamics, moving influence away from feudal lords and towards the peasant class, who could now demand better wages and conditions. This, in turn, spurred fundamental changes in agricultural practices, leading to more diversified farming. It also had a direct influence on wage systems, as laborists could now negotiate for higher pay, initiating the decline of serfdom in many areas. Now you have some time to look at questions 36 to 40. Beyond immediate economic and labor shifts, pandemics have left an indelible mark on culture. Historically, they've led to significant shifts in art and literature, often reflecting widespread fear and anxiety. Think of the macabre art of the medieval period, or the literary works from the Spanish flu era that explored themes of isolation and mortality. These artistic expressions serve as a powerful testament to collective trauma. Crucially, pandemics also act as powerful catalysts for scientific and medical advancements. Outbreaks necessitate rapid research into causes, treatments, and preventative measures. This urgency has historically driven innovations in vaccine development, epidemiology, and public health infrastructure, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge in medicine. Furthermore, the dissemination of information plays an absolutely critical role during outbreaks. The speed and accuracy with which information is shared can dramatically impact public response, either fostering cooperation or fueling panic and misinformation. This highlights the importance of robust communication channels. Historically, outbreaks have often forced societies to reconsider urban planning and infrastructure. Overcrowded and unsanitary conditions were frequently identified as contributing factors to disease spread, leading to improvements in sanitation systems, housing regulations, and the development of more open public spaces. Ultimately, studying the history of pandemics reveals their profound and multifaceted impacts. These events serve as powerful reminders of human vulnerability and resilience, but also underscore the undeniable need for global cooperation in addressing shared challenges. Understanding the past helps us prepare for the future. Thank you. That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.